All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Locker Room Sports Talk. I'm your host, Big Matt, with the most, and sidekick, best of them all, the Diamond Dean, sitting here to my
What's
right.
up?
TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, we're live everywhere. Listeners, thank you all for coming by and hanging out with us for a few minutes of your Sunday. Show number 264. We got plenty to talk about here. A little bit of high school playoff football and a lot of stuff happened in college Saturday. Some teams are in and some teams are out, and you can get our opinion on it. And it means absolutely nothing is about as useless as a belly button. Everybody's got an opinion like that, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about tonight. So hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoy what you see here. And if you don't, tell us what you don't like about it, and we'll bring it up and we'll talk about it.
Rough day yesterday, huh?
Man,
just all across the.
Well, it is what it is, and either you're in or you're out. And I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Can't do much. I mean, we got no control over it.
No.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's been going on all year. It's got to be the biggest upset year. I know somebody had told me they're this weekly pick'ems. They pick 20 games and see how they do, and said nobody's doing well.
Vegas has got to be making a killing.
Like they're doing. Said some weeks a winner will win 9 out of 20.
Hang on, let me see if
9 and 11 winning it.
I don't sound right. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Test 1, 2. Okay, I was checking the microphone. It sounded like it was giving us the other ones. Okay. We got let's see here. We'll talk Georgia Tech and Indiana. JSU getting a win. We'll do Penn State second. Then we'll go to Ole Miss. Auburn fourth overtime win, taking care of business, a big win for them. Then last, we'll break down the Tide's dismal performance Saturday. So, guys, hit the comment section over here. Give me your scores. Tell me about your high school football teams up here in Northeast Alabama. It's still in the playoffs. Dean, what about them Piedmont Bulldogs?
Oh, wow. What a game.
That was a good game. Classic. Those two programs, I seen somebody today, their kid plays over there at Piedmont. And when you see two teams that have just, they build their program from the inside out, straight from the bottom, from elementary all the way through Pee Wee and junior high. Every time these guys play, it's close.
Yeah, that's only, we've seen them play in the preseason.
Yeah.
That was always close. Then we've saw them play twice so far in the last 3 years, right? 3 or 4. And great game both times. And this one probably took the cake, though, didn't it? Yeah,
last time was at the rain game at 5. 5 goes on to beat Montgomery Catholic down, was it 16-0 at half?
16-0, yeah.
5 comes out after half and scores and going away and takes care of Montgomery Catholic, wins 3A. The first time moving up to 3A. Then they go back 2A, win it, and come back up to 3A again this year. Well, there's the old gatekeeper, old Piedmont. And they didn't get it done. Got stopped on a 2-point conversion. And,
Well, it was a good stop. I mean, he gained, I read in the paper the next day, they ran Simon Hicks on that play. It gained 104 yards on like 13 carries. He's 8 yards a carry. And, Benefield, like, well, we can get this 3, On that play, they gained a lot of yards. And 5 rushed for 375, but Piedmont countered that by throwing for 375.
Yeah, well,
so
we've seen them play up close and personal time or two, and Ish and Pinto are what they are. They're hard to tackle, man. They just are. I mean, it's going to be a tough task for Morris Hill this weekend. Try to tackle those guys. Just is.
They were letting Bethel catch it. But I noticed he made some plays now. He can break a tackle. He's good. And Pinto had 17 catches. My gosh. So that's a 20-catch game, and now a 17. He had a 20-catch game earlier in the year, and now he's had a 17. I think somebody said he caught like 9. He's caught 90 passes this year.
Well, even if you can get close to him to tackle him, I mean, I've seen him, He's dodging people out there. I mean, there was several times, 5 D-backs have him covered up well.
Yeah.
I mean, got him covered, or he catches the ball and he's run across the field. As soon as he catches it, just swiping at the ball, and it just wasn't their night.
No, it wasn't.
Piedmont's just better.
And
Right.
5, I mean, Gibson had 254. Had 255 last week. Finished with 1,500. I mean, everybody's like, oh, what if they'd had Anderson?
Yeah. You do lose a Division I athlete. It has to affect the team. It just does. But Coach Benefield's not going to be the one to make any excuses. He's been doing this a long time. The man's Hall of Fame coach here, state of Alabama, over 360 some odd wins right in there. He's won a lot of games and he's lost a few.
Yeah, and I'm not calling it bad. I'm trying to. They either finished 9 or 10-3, and that's the worst record they've had in 12 years.
Man, there's a lot of teams.
12 years.
A lot of teams all over the state would love to. Their worst season, they win 10 games.
And
there's teams that we've known here in Alabama. There's a high school that didn't win a game for 3 years.
Oh, I know.
I mean, you think they're griping about only winning 10 games?
Let me see. They may have, if they didn't win 10, it's the first time in 11 years, but they still won 9. So 5 football. Somebody said they only played 9 regular seasons. So we'll find out right here.
Yeah, so the season's bad, and we're on a downhill drag. We only win 10. Sound like Alabama fans. If they only win 9, it's terrible. It's a garbage season. Can run a U-Haul. Somebody said they're going to run a U-Haul through DeBoer's house if they lose to Auburn.
Well, 9-3. So that is the. And again, I'm just saying it's the worst record in 12 years. I didn't say it was bad.
It's not. Absolutely, it's not bad.
And they lost to
take it all.
Third round to Piedmont by 2. And they lost that game to Coosa Christian, and they lost to Pisgah by a touchdown. So.
And
and they rushed for over 300 yards a game again this year.
Well, usually in the winter, that Piedmont 5 game, usually historically, they go on to win state.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about some other matchups around the state. We'll buzz through them pretty quick, and I'll break down West Morgan, give you some names and hot notes and info, and then we'll get into college stuff.
All right, 1A, Elba advanced. They won 56-20.
We watched some of that one.
I'm sure Henderson, who had 3,100 yards coming in, had a big day. Wadley, gosh, they scored 67 against Berry. Hackleburg, do you think that was an upset? Beat Lynn?
Seems like it is.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of one. And Maplesville got past Milry. So now you've got Maplesville and Elba playing, and you've got Wadley and Hackleburg. Now, I'd asked Matt, is there any chance that Hackleburg could beat Wadley, in your opinion?
I mean, there's always a shot, I guess. Games played on the field, but the way, statistically speaking, and just seeing them play, and I seen Wilkes play last year, and they got another tailback's good too, just like Elba Henderson's.
Oh yeah,
he's not the only back.
One. No,
they got another guy too that's also good. I mean, let's just see, points wise through the rounds. Wadley has scored 68, 55, and 67.
Wow.
Hackleburg has scored 32, 49, and 41.
That's good scoring too.
Absolutely.
That's 40-something a game. But compared to what Wadley's scoring, what are they averaging? 60 a game? 65 a game?
Elba's been scoring 62, 49, and 77. So it seems like it's a crash course. What?
77? I don't know. That could be one of the all-time great matchups, and I think it will be.
Super high-flying offenses.
Wadley versus Elba.
Supposedly. Now, Maplesville and Hackleburg show up, and they may meet.
Yeah, I mean, Maplesville, I'm sure they don't want to hear that, and you never know.
Maplesville beat Sweetwater. They snuck out there 21-20 with a win, and they beat Milry pretty bad, so.
Yeah. What did that score end up being? 22-7 last time I saw it.
42.
42.
2A. South over here, Reeltown's going to match up with Highland Home.
Oh, man, that'll be a classic.
It is.
I thought Cottonwood would – sorry, JB. I thought Cottonwood would beat Reeltown.
42-20.
But they did not.
No, it wasn't close.
And Reeltown's just really come together.
Selligent, home of Rashad Johnson Dean, takes care of Winston County. They'll be matching up with the winner over Pisgah. Congrats to Coach Luke Pruitt up there, family of brother Jamie Pruitt, and Pruitt's has been involved with Alabama and Tennessee coaching up here on the mountain.
I think Selligent might get past that one. That's a both of those are fantastic matchups. From what I've heard, Highland Home's just unreal on offense and defense. And you've seen Tuscaloosa Academy play. You were impressed, right?
Oh, man, they're quarterback. I look for them to make it.
And they had a 300 yards against Coosa.
I look for them to make it.
But we don't know a lot about Selligent, but we do know Highland Home and Reeltown are very good. Obviously, Selligent's good if they beat 12-0 Winston County.
With a repeat and say, Reeltown to go back, I guess it kind of feels like Reeltown makes Tuscaloosa Academy.
Yeah, I think
that's what it feels like. Just by looking at how they've played this year, the teams they've beat, and I've seen that quarterback at Tuscaloosa Academy. He's special.
I wouldn't doubt about Tuscaloosa Academy going. I don't know if. I mean, those are just even matchups.
What about 3A?
3A, you got Piedmont, Mars Hill, and who you got in that South? You've got. Wait, don't tell me. Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me.
Houston Academy and Southside Selma.
Okay, two teams that were not supposed to be there. All we've heard all year and thought was Thomasville, T.R. Miller. Thomasville, T.R. Miller. I think Houston Academy is going. And Piedmont, Mars Hill, that's a pick 'em.
I think
that's a pick 'em.
I think Piedmont's got a great shot at it.
I do too. And I do think they'll be playing. Anybody that can beat T.R. Miller seems pretty worthy of a state title or at least a runner-up.
Yes.
So I think they'll get past their opponent.
With Ish and Pinto, what we was just talking about with them breaking down their game.
Southside Selma, yeah.
They're hard to tackle, man. Mars Hill's going to have their hands full trying to tackle those guys.
They are, and Piedmont doesn't run the ball a lot. I mean,
no.
Wilson threw 52 times the other night. I don't know that they ran it. What did you say? Maybe 12?
Yeah.
13?
Mars Hill's corners better be ready. They better be on point. And
they're going to get a lot of stats.
Pick the ball. Linebacker's going to have to drop back in coverage, maybe even have some weird-looking stunts where a linebacker blitz and the end backs out, jumps, picks a pass, something.
Yeah.
They're going to have to throw something in the mix there to stop them from throwing all over the field.
They may jam them at the line, which I don't know if that works.
You can't hardly get back there fast enough. I mean, Center's got one of the best, defenses around, Turkey County. And by the time you get there, I mean, they were, getting back there a lot of times, but as soon as they got back there, the ball's gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he threw for 300. And that's not insulting Center in no way, but that just lets you know how good they are if they could throw for 300 yards.
On the top ranked 4A defense.
I think it's the best defense, one of the better defenses 1 through 4A.
It is.
And maybe the best.
Yeah, they're up there in the top 5 statewide.
As far as passing now, Piedmont's got a top notch. I mean, these receivers. Man,
they throw it so fast. They throw the ball so quick. Southside Selma's kind of come out of nowhere. They beat Bayside Academy 26-24. And also they took care of Montgomery Academy.
This Houston Academy is looking pretty good.
Their coaches,
they are.
Their coaches are from T.R. Miller.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was Coach Short spoke to me about that. They were on the show and they was talking about the coach leaving TR and going to Houston Academy.
I think they're going to the state championship.
A lot of people like Houston Academy,
and I like them to play. Piedmont can win that. Really tough, but I'd like to see Piedmont and Houston.
Looks like Piedmont Houston Academy. Kind of looks like that. 4A. Tell us about Cherokee County, traveling up the road 3 hours away to a little town up there, Brooks and Killian, Alabama. We broke that game down all different ways. I even talked about it again Thursday. Give you all their playmakers. Told you the game. It runs through their quarterback. He's electric. He's a playmaker, but they come up short. Cherokee County defense holds on and puts the thump on them, puts the pow to them, and just aggresses them and takes control of the game, win 21-14.
21-14. I don't know. I saw where he passed for 170. Heard it was 21-0, and they had a play where a guy broke up a pass, and it went up in the air, kind of like Auburn did against Georgia that time. And that same thing that happened against West Morgan, center had happened against West Morgan last year. Boy caught it, ran 60 yards for a touchdown. Then they drove down late and scored again, but center got the onside kick and run the clock out. It didn't sound like center Cherokee County had a hard time running the ball. Tristan and Keyshawn combined for 300. 165 for Tristan. Wow, way to step in.
Yeah, they'll need him this week. And, of
course, Keyshawn, I think he's right at 1,000 himself.
Yeah, he's got to be close because he was at 800, I know.
Yeah.
Just a week or two ago.
He was. And 135 for him.
I don't want to drown on refs because I'm going to get on them refs in a little bit, and we got to have a talk about. There's just no consequences for actions. High school refs too, and I had one person call, and I seen two people in the stores. I put out bread here, help the bread company locally, so I'm in the stores up here a lot putting out bread sometimes in the evenings after games or sometimes in the morning. So two people and one phone call, and I know those three people, and they don't talk to each other probably maybe randomly. And they all three said the first thing they told me, "Wow, what a horrible call game. Matt, can you play music while the offense has the ball?"
No, sir.
I mean, the whole time. The whole time center's got the ball, they're letting them play music. No. The refs are supposed to. You can't even blow a horn. You can't even blow a whistle. There can't be no racket. So that went on. Obviously, if three different people told me, I wasn't there personally, so that went on, and I trust those three people to tell me the truth. I don't know why they lie about it. And bad calls are, I guess some people have different ideas of what bad calls are, and sometimes, fans can get swayed because they're fans. And I was a fan one time too. My son played at Cedar Bluff, and I know you get wrapped up in the game and you get peed. I was the dad hollering on the fence, when refs made bad calls. I did. I acted crazy sometimes. But when I have three different people saying the same penalty, the same things, it can't be wrong. So it was a bad call game. And just weird stuff like walking the ball to the chain, like happened to Hoax Bluff. Like you walk the ball to I've been around football, but it's just a lot of stuff like that. So
walk the chain, ain't no telling how far that got off by the time the ball got there.
You ought to stop the game and fire the guy right then. But the whole point to me even bringing this up is there's no consequences they can just call a bad game, and a team can lose the game. What happens to the ref? Man, they get paid and they go home. Yeah. They get to go work next week.
You're exactly right.
I know they need help. And I know they're just regular guys, and we have refs that watch the show. And shout out to Thomas Crusoe family. Good Lord of mercy. Him passing away.
I hate that.
Got a great guy. Also a great ref.
Yeah.
They used to text me in games, at state games, and say, "That's a bad call. They missed that one. That's a terrible call." He was really, really fair, right down the middle. If he called it, it's a legit.
Yeah.
I always trusted his judgment. I love talking to him. I'm sorry that his family's having to deal with it, his wife and kids. Bless them, Lord, that's terrible. But there's just got to be something. I don't know. I don't know what I mean saying, because there's nothing going to happen. So I'm just wasting my time. Sorry I wasted y'all's time.
I hear more venues, and I'm talking about jobs here, where it be education, a meal, sports, anything related. I hear this all the time. We can't stop what's going on because nobody at the top will do nothing.
There just has to be some accountability. Somebody has to step up and say, we're going to go back and look at this call. And if it gets turned in, when they get turned in, because they do, And I know one that got turned in a few years ago when my son played. We played a particular game in a particular place, and I know it got turned in. And I talked to the coach after, and pretty much he was told, pretty much just real quick, like in a little 2-paragraph thing that I read, just deal with it. That's just how it is.
Well, I knew somebody that reported a coach for his actions one time, and they just pretty much they called. The state was like, "Yeah, we know who that is. He's a great coach," and that was pretty much it.
Pretty much, yeah, we know. We're not.
And then went and told the guy that he'd been reported and who did it
and who turned him in. See, that's interference. That's heckling. That's you got. That's we got to have some kind of.
Actually, it was me.
We got to have some kind of rules. There's got to be some kind of when you're turned in, they review it and it's wrong. You lose your pay for the game.
Right.
You lose your pay. Okay, that's just what we got to have some kind of guidelines to it. Now, sure, big win here. We're talking about 4A South, and we'll get on out of here over there. Fairfield. Some people felt like they had a shot to play with St. Michael. Obviously not. 42-25. Phillip Rivers and Son Gunner take care of business. Jackson playing Tallahassee Coach O'Neill that was at Booker T that took them out last year. Coach O'Neill, fine coach. But Tallahassee couldn't get it done. We watched a little bit of that game.
A little bit. Yeah, we didn't have the score up.
Yeah.
41 0-0, and it was already 26-10.
41-10 wound up being the final of that game. So Jackson moves on to play St. Michael, which they've already played back in the year. And Jackson beat them by
55-16.
Yeah, beat them bad.
But this is obviously a different St. Michael's team. Any chance they come in here and sneak out
I don't think so.
Upset? I don't think so either. Where's the game at? Is it at Jackson?
I think so. Yes, it's at Jackson.
Jackson seems to be very talented, and with some Division I prospects, a 5-star running back, Duckworth over 2,500, 3,000 yards. Crowell, is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
He's rushed for 1,600. He's just a sophomore, which I'm sure he's not the only person on their team with a lot of yards.
They have another receiver, and really, they remind me a lot of Cherokee County. They can score the ball kind of how they want to. They run the ball well. They got two good running backs. I think Cherokee County has 3, 4 maybe. But their defense
they're lights out.
They just shut people down.
Well, I noticed that they haven't.
They've only given up 10 points in the playoffs.
Haven't give up much.
10.
The only loss was to Saraland, who
beat them by a touchdown.
I was told from someone listening to a talk show that one of the talking heads said Saraland's the best team in the state, 1 through 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But
Jackson's going to host St. Michael, and they beat them by about 40 7 touchdowns last time. I don't see
how do you give Jackson the nod.
There's not. I don't know how you flip a 7 touchdown game. Not 7. This ain't a touchdown. 2.
It was 7 touchdowns.
We're talking about a bad loss.
Yeah.
Maybe they play them better, and Jackson beats them 47
39-28,
47-21.
Yeah,
they play them better.
I don't see how that would be the biggest flip.
I don't think so.
History. I just think they're so loaded with athletes. And who was that? We were watching Reeltown the other night. Guys, you want to wonder why Henderson's got so many yards? You ought to see their line.
Oh, Elba.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, their guard and center are large men.
Which he's obviously a good running back anyway. And let me check his yardage again.
1A football. Their lineman looks like they look like West Morgan's line. I mean, they're all about 6'3" or 4. They all battling around about 280, 275.
I mean, they're huge. And Jackson just looks so athletic. Must be athletic all over the
Their
field.
linebacker, they got a linebacker. What's his? He may be number 4 like Tristan is. And he's kind of thick in the middle, and he's fast. I mean, if you got a guy that weighs 220, 230, and they're running like 5.040s.
I'm looking at 265.
That's a lot of weight moving towards you. So Cherokee County's going to host West Morgan this year. Last year they met them in the quarterfinals, taking down West Morgan by 1. up there at Trinity. What a great game that was. Now, this year, Trinity's going to ride the road down here. Now, I think that Cherokee County is going to come in really focused this week, a close scoring game. And I think that gives the coaches an opportunity to let the guys know, hey, we got to stay locked in here. Okay. We've got to stay locked in. This team's coming to take your head off. And West Morgan is coming in with the idea of, we just beat a team by 30. Okay. We just beat this Anderson team by 30. We think we got a really good shot to come down there and beat Cherokee County in their own house. So we're going to see how this all plays out. And it don't have a lot to do with just where the kids' mindset is, where the kids are. West Morgan, Dean, senior quarterback, numero uno on their jerseys and number one in their hearts from West Morgan. A little over 700 total yards. Tucker is going to be the quarterback. Also plays corner. He's a senior. A wide receiver that's going to make some noise for him. Daniels, and a running back for him. Top Scott, 500 yards, 8 touchdowns, number 13. Senior linebacker, number 8, Ty Jones. He's also ran for about 200 yards this year. He's got close to 100 tackles. Had several interceptions on the year. They got defensive end Webster, about 53 tackles. He's had over 11 sacks on the year. Senior number 5 linebacker, Bibiana.
Bibiana.
Babina.
Babana.
353 picks, about 10 sacks for him also. And then also Thorne, a junior, playing for them, had 77 tackles there. He plays kind of an outside role. And then also probably this is the guy. He's the one that the team kind of runs through. He's 6'1"ish, 210, 215-ish. The ball runs through him. He's on defense. He'll take punt returns. I watched film on him today. He may jump back in zone and play outside linebacker and pick a ball. He may play linebacker in the middle and make a tackle. He may catch a ball for a pass.
He's kind of their go-to.
But mostly he's going to be in the backfield running the ball.
Right.
Macarri. Macara Johnson.
He's a stud, huh?
He's a guy. About 25 touchdowns. He had 160-some yards rushing alone versus Brooks. He's over 1,200 on the year. He's fast, and he will take a kickoff or punt return. He's dangerous enough to take one to the house. He'll sidestep you and jump you, and if he gets out in the open field, he's a mess. He's a handful. He can bounce it outside, and he's good out in space. He gets out in space. Johnson, number 23, junior, be back next year. West Morgan tailback / cornerback / they play
everything.
I see him caught. He's had some receiving yards too. What I've noticed, really, we just talked about their offensive line. It's got hot. I'm getting hot. My ears is roasted. I get hot and I get to coughing. I don't know why. That's just automatic. I get hot, I start coughing. Their offensive line, Dean, moves people.
Now they've not. They're 12-0, right? Or 13-0. Have they even had a close game?
Yes, they have.
I heard that they got some grown men playing for them. Not literally. That's just a figure of speech. But
we heard that from somebody else that had seen them play.
Yeah, just grown men. I mean, just very good squad.
Started in 1966. Coach Phillips, 4A Region 7. 1972 Rebels, one of their last teams that won it. That was their first 10-0 season. 2023 was their first 12-win season.
And this be their
second 12-win season.
Yeah, first 13, I guess.
They beat Brooks 42-10. Randolph 31-0. Beat Eastern Lawrence about 70-6. Scored 61 on Danville. Central Florence is the only team that played them 52-26, and then 35-34. They played Deschler close in a 2 overtime game.
35-30. Okay, I remember that now. That was their
last regular season game.
The last regular season.
In the playoffs here, they've given up 27 points, and they've scored about 135. So it's 135-27 for playoffs.
Who they beat in the playoffs?
Fayette County, Madison Academy, and Anniston.
Okay, they beat Madison. They beat Anniston 50-20. Wow.
Points for and against 587-143.
587.
And
40-something points a game.
Cherokee County, 468-142.
Yeah, Cherokee County's not give up much. I mean, 1 point, that's 11 points a game. It's less than that against their starting 11. I mean, that's
besides Piedmont, which is there's no shame in losing that game. I mean, you can look back and go, wow. I mean, your only loss is probably going to be 3A state champs or runner-ups.
At least 13 one-loss team.
A-Rab played them good early. That's when the guys were still kind of figuring things out, and they were kind of getting themselves together. They beat A-Rab 42-21. Other than that, the starters haven't really been scored on.
No.
Hoax Bluff scored twice on them. It's on the starters. The starters literally have give up like.
But Center had well over 400 yards in that game. And, the Anniston game was the only game I didn't think, but they didn't give up anything. I don't know if Anniston had 100. I didn't think they were there mentally that night. They just looked, a little tired. Everybody has a bad game.
They've been to Shades Valley the week before. And he can't help it, man. They may have been peeking ahead a little bit because that Hoax Bluff game at the time was shaping up to be.
Yeah, it was the next week.
Yeah.
Undefeated, and then Alexandria upset them.
Yeah, which they didn't know that at the time. So they were thinking, gosh, we're going to play for the region next Friday.
Yeah.
But no excuses. I know coaches ain't going to make no excuses. So they're ripping and roaring and ready to go. They're 2-0 against West Morgan, like we said last time they met. 28-27 was the final.
Yeah, that was a great game. I hate I missed that.
What's up, bro?
I heard it was a great game. That's the one where Center got the ball back and didn't score. They took the knee.
Yep.
They got the first down. West Morgan was pretty much going to let them score where they could get the ball back.
Tay slid inbounds right there in front of me.
Yes.
He slid down, and the ref come down there because he run down there where I was. And he said something to me. He turned around to me and said something like, wow, this kid's must be playing for a while. That was a real veteran move to slide it to stay in bounds. And I said, yeah, he's been playing since he was a little boy. Tay knows what he's doing. Most kids would have scored.
Well, yeah.
Jacob had ran the ball a lot that night, and
West Morgan would have had time to get back.
Could have, yeah. And then Tay gets the ball. He just goes off like in the fourth quarter. He just they had him hemmed up. I remember 2 or 3 times in the backfield. He got loose, and he was just getting 6, 7, 8 yards. They'd get him again in the backfield. They'd jump him, get on him. Somebody would squirt through the middle somewhere, and they'd grab him, get on him. He'd just get loose, and he'd pick up another 5. Be like 3rd and 3, and somehow he gets loose and tears off up the sideline, and he slides down in bounds. Run the clock out, win the game.
Wow.
So I'm sure Tay and the boys will be ready. For Mr. Johnson coming to town, tailback extraordinaire, defensive guy, number 23 on their jerseys, number 1 in the hearts of the West Morgan family. Y'all have safe travels up here, and I think it'll be as good as advertised.
Yeah, I think so too.
Jeff Anderson, Peanut Gallery Dean, he says, Juju, 370 yards and 4 touchdowns up there at Carrollton High School, which they will be playing the Buford Wolves. I think the winning streak will be over, Jeff. We're watching Buford beat the dog mess out of Loudon's right now.
Obviously, Carrollton is capable of beating Buford, but supposedly that's supposed to be a great matchup.
Gonna play the game at Bradley Stadium. I don't know. I didn't know about that. Thanks for the info, Ben. So they're trying to get the game moved from Mars Field to wherever Bradley Stadium is.
Maybe the Piedmont game.
Mhm.
I don't know where. I mean, I don't know anything. Where is Mars Hill? Coleman.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about 2.5 hours. It's up that way towards. Now Brooks is a little more south, I think, but it's northwest of here.
Right. Okay. Not an easy drive. Huh?
No. Well, I don't. Maybe they want to move it for size.
I'd say that's probably what it is because you're going to have a big crowd there, I would think.
I've seen videos of Mars Hill. They got a really nice place.
Should offer just to have it at their place.
They got
come down here.
It's just as if you've ever seen Mars Hill videos, y'all can look it up on YouTube. It looks a lot like Piedmont.
Mm-hmm.
Nice turf, the nice stands, big, nice scoreboard, rock. They got this special rock thing around it says Mars Hill, and very nice, super nice for especially well they were 2A then, now they're 3A now. Super nice. Carrollton plays Hillgrove next at Carrollton, and the winner faces University. Yeah, I know.
Oh, I thought they played Buford next.
I think they got another round.
Oh, okay. Then it'll be against Buford, right? Okay.
Hillgrove.
So they'll meet Buford in the next.
Yeah. Be 3,000 yards and 40 touchdowns and 4 picks. Colorado Buffs quarterback. So.
Yeah, he'll be the next Buffs quarterback.
That's kind of that for high school local stuff.
Yeah, and we're winding on down. There's just not a lot left.
No, that's kind of it. We'll come back next week and talk about a few of the winners from Friday and who's going to go play each other in state. We'll give the state. Next Sunday will be the state announcements.
Yeah. We'll know for sure.
Who's going to go
Friday
be going
night.
that next week, December.
It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right?
Yeah.
No, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday.
7A on Wednesday.
Yeah, flag football and 7A, then Thursday, Friday.
135 on Thursday, 246. So if Cherokee County makes it, which y'all know this because they made the last 2 years, you'll have to go down on that Friday to watch.
Early. They play the 4A plays the first game.
Yes, at 11.
They play 4 and then 2 and then 6. Why? I have no idea. Why won't you do it 2, 4, 6?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, what that kind of bothers me. I'm a little OCD. Why?
I don't know. They don't even mix it up. It's always been that way.
As far as I know, it kind of hurts the team to have to be down there.
But they've done it as long as I remember because when I helped at center that year and they played at 11.
Yeah, y'all played. Where'd y'all play at? Legion Field?
Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
Now, they did it at Legion Field for a time.
Yeah.
And 1 year it was at the Hoover Met, and I had some coaches tell me, I didn't go that year. They said it was awful. So that died out, and then it went to Alabama, Auburn. Then they went to.
No, that's out. They don't need to be because neither one of them's going to playoffs. So
went to Birmingham, which we thought was great, obviously, because it's not hard.
I would assume that Cherokee County.
I mean, dang, you didn't even have to leave till 8:30.
Crowd size. So they're going to move it over there, wherever that place is, wherever Bradley Stadium. Yeah, so that
may be where Coleman plays.
And Cherokee County played Jackson last time when y'all went.
Yes, Jackson.
Yep.
Yes. Very good Jackson team. Well, obvious. I mean, Cherokee County won it with 20 seconds on the clock. 20 seconds.
Gabriel Chambers.
Well, he made the catch, took the ball away from the guy who actually intercepted it. But he was falling. Chambers was running his route and latched on to him and took it from him before they went to ground, which is completely legal.
I remember seeing, I was like, holy crap, I think he just stole it from him.
Blanchard, I think he ran in from 9 yards out, just sweep right, and he just cut it up, walked in pretty much.
Did you call that play?
No. Will Wagner.
Coach Wagner. Where's he at now?
Auburn.
Yes.
I think. Are they still in it?
No, Thompson beat them last week.
So who's in the they're set. 7A finals are set.
Yeah.
The only teams we got around anymore, Moody, obviously still in it. Oxford. I know we don't. Thompson and Central Phoenix City, right?
Thompson plays Central Phoenix for a state championship. So
Yeah, I went over there and told Will, I'd just run Cody on a
that's
sweep.
what I do right here, Coach.
Yeah, like he didn't already know that. You know what?
Okay, you know what? I ain't
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring in,
what?
let's see, who's somebody that don't play running back? Yeah, I'm going to bring them. We're throwing it.
Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb Crane was the linebacker. He actually did run it that game. And
Caleb, you're in fullback.
they had a third and long, and he got it and got the first. I remember that early name. That was a good game.
Caleb was a dude.
Big 4th down and 1 stop.
How many tackles he have? 300-400
in his career. He's over 4.
I don't even know.
And he didn't play his freshman year.
There's teams out there that don't even have 400 tackles.
He made 1 his freshman year. 1. But then he made 100, then he made 200, then he made 150. So he probably finished with 450. Let's just guess 450.
Okay, here let's switch gears and let's get over here on the other side of it. We'll go part or hair down the middle, and let me throw this up here on the screen. And
let me say that Tristan Brown probably closed in on 5.
Yeah,
I bet he's close. He may not. He may have it because his daddy had told me that he started 4 games as a freshman.
Yes.
So I'm assuming he might at least made 20 tackles.
Yeah, if he made 15 or 20.
And, that's at worst. And plus playing special teams and filling in when they were, let's give him 50 that year and then 153 straight years. That's 500 tackles.
Sheesh. All right, well, let's hit the music for a second. We'll be right back. Y'all hang on, okay? All right, here we are, baby. Welcome back in. Show number 262. College football around the South has taken a big old dipply-doo, and some teams just took a big dip-you-doo right in their pants on Saturday, about 4 of them. And the AP poll is out, and we'll bring it up and look at it. First of all, thanks to our sponsors here. We always got to give them a big shout out. Mobley Concrete and Construction for sponsoring us through our high school football season here. We appreciate them. 903-343-8581. Call Jerry. Get a free estimate. Find them on Facebook and go look at see what they got going on. Turkey Eye Clinic, JR and April McKenzie. We appreciate them. Call them at 927-4030. Give them a call over there. Get you an appointment made. Get your eyes checked. Find them on turkeyeyeclinic.net. Also, you seen there during the half, we had Warrior Gym up 256-266-4333. Call Warrior Gym. Find them on Facebook. Warrior Gym and Tanning. Find the Warrior and you. Get a hold of John and get you a yearly subscription over there to the darn gym. And they just ain't no reason you can't go. I went this morning for a little while, and it just makes your day a whole lot better.
I've heard that.
Makes your day a whole lot more better. Okay. Shout out JSU Gamecocks they're going to be playing for their championship. I think they pretty much have sealed the deal, Dane. 21-11 over Sam Houston.
Boy, they're playing good.
They are. Huff had a great game. They're running the ball well, throwing the ball around the park. So shout out to JSU for their win. Take care of business over here. Our alma mater, not paid or sponsored by them. Georgia Tech, 1 point. Thursday night game, 30-29. I watched that game.
Boy, this quarterback they've got, both of them are good.
Fila from where? Prince Avenue?
Prince Avenue. Wow. What did he throw for about 275? He can sling it.
Well,
now.
he throwed for what, 12,000?
14.
Sorry, I missed it by 2,000. God almighty. 3 miles. He threw the ball 3 miles.
14. He threw it from here to McDonald's. Completed. Not just throwing, with the guy catching it.
That don't make no sense. So Georgia Tech's hanging on. We'll see if they can put a thumping on the Dogs this weekend. Maybe could. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Who knows? They may beat them. I'm serious now. I'm not being disrespectful to Georgia fans. They may beat Georgia 4 touchdowns. Georgia may beat them 4 touchdowns. Who knows? I have no clue.
Vegas has won a lot of money this year.
No clue whatsoever.
But
I mean, I'm serious. I look at these games. I look at the spreads. I have no clue what to pick. Home team don't matter. Well, they're better. Well, that definitely don't matter. Do you think for 2 seconds that Oklahoma's better than Alabama? I mean, no.
You don't want to run into a 4-win team right now.
No.
Team that's won 4 or 5 games. You don't want to play them right now.
No, I mean Vanderbilt's liable to. Who knows?
They may beat
They
Tennessee.
may beat Tennessee. Auburn may beat Alabama.
Yeah, I think Auburn does beat Alabama. I'll tell you why in a minute. First shoot out of the match, what do you think about 38-15? The Hoosiers show up and do not play football. They should have played a basketball game. It's abysmal. It's a joke. They had 150 total yards of freaking offense. Ohio State could have put their foot on down their throat and scored 60. But Coach Day decided not to be that guy, and they kind of throttled it back a little bit. They wound up with over 300 total yards. Could have been 600 total. First quarter, decently. They come in, a little whatever. But
that is over.
150 total yards offense. I don't want to hear nothing else about Indy. I don't give a flying ripping shit if they played. They ain't played nobody. They just have to play their schedule. I don't care.
The 38-15 doesn't sound bad. That ain't. But 150, guys, that's a low total of yards. Low.
His QBR was 43.
He was a Heisman candidate.
Howard had an 87 QBR.
I just don't think they're ready.
They had their running back Lawton had about 80 yards rushing. He had one big 20, so he basically had about 60 yards.
Yeah,
and that's what you're gonna hang your hat on. That team's great. They need to keep them in the playoffs. By God,
I heard today they were probably still be in it.
They're putting them in there. By God, we want to see them play Texas round 1 and get smoked. Stop making people feel good. We got to stop it.
I'll be honest with you, and I'll say this, and I'll go on record. I may be wrong. I don't think the committee will put them in.
I think they will, because the one running the committee is Michigan. He's the Michigan AD. They're Big Ten. Big Ten people run this committee. You can tell, and you can tell when you look at the top 25 or whatever, you can tell who's running it. The Big Ten's who's in. That's the top teams.
Well, I mean, they were nowhere even close.
They did not match
Ohio
up.
State. Nowhere even close.
Nowhere close. It's not even close. I don't listen. If you want to make people feel good, go sell ice cream. That's just kind of how it is, and that's just my opinion on it. And to go Matt, Texas ain't really played nobody, but they're playing ranked team. They have played a couple of ranked teams, and if they beat Texas A&M, that'll be another ranked team. It'll be 2, 3 they've played. They lost to Georgia. Okay, so
he got a better resume than.
Well, the strength of schedule is 50.
Better than Indiana.
Yeah, theirs is 108. This is the scenario I'll lay out. I've thought about doing it as a scenario. I'll lay it out as fighting. Okay, lay it out as a fight.
Mm-hmm.
You go to PE. You're the bigger kid, and you go around punching kindergartners.
Mm-hmm.
You're just pushing them down. You are playing kickball, okay? You're playing kickball at school, and you're a 7th grader. You're playing with 1st and 2nd graders. You're kicking the ball with the fence. Everybody's probably done something like this when you help to fill in with a teacher or was an aide at PE, and you help with elementary and you play kickball with them. You just kick it over their head and you just run all the way around the base. You just beat, well, then when the coach comes back over there, well, we don't say that. One of your classmates shows up that's equal to you, shows up, or you think is equal to you, and he shows up and he starts kicking it way over your head when you're trying to go out there and catch it, and you have no chance of winning, and he just single-handedly beats you by himself.
Right.
That's Indiana. Now, the SEC teams, Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, whatever you want to call it, South Carolina's playing good right now.
They are very good.
They're going to be the big kid that goes out there, and they're playing a regular kickball game. Sixth graders on sixth graders. And because they lose a game or two to a group of other sixth graders, I don't think you're probably really good. We want the guy that's played the second graders. He's a really good kickball guy. What?
Yeah. Well, see, I think Ohio State could play with all them teams you mentioned, but Indiana can't. Indiana wouldn't beat South Carolina. I don't think Indiana would beat South Carolina any day of the week. I'm sorry. I don't see it. But yeah, Ohio State, I think Ohio State's elite. And I don't think Penn State is. I don't think Penn State's bad. Penn State's better than Indiana, though, y'all. I'm telling you, Penn State's better than Indiana.
Howard was 22 for 26. I mean, so their defense was a joke. 200 yards passing for Ohio State.
That's 80. Yeah, 200. Egbuka had a good game. Emeka, they're low. They got three good receivers. It's not just him anymore.
No.
It's the freshman, and they got another guy.
Freshman, what's his name?
Smith. Jeremiah.
He's really good.
I mean, some say he's better than, you know who the freshman of the year was early in the year. It was Williams. Well, they say Smith's better than Williams now. So, and he does have better stats than Williams.
And I don't know. Ben's asking, would you put in? Would be shocked if a 3-loss team? Would I be shocked? No, because the committee is ran by the Big Ten. Well, I guess I would be shocked because they're not putting in no SEC teams. You can see where they put Bama in the new AP, which means nothing anymore. Why don't we even have an AP poll? Why don't we have one? What's it for?
I don't see the point in it.
What's the point?
Do they kind of go by it?
No.
Yeah.
They rank their own top 25. And then they put in the 12.
I don't think Indiana should be in it. But I'll be honest, I don't think Alabama should be in it either.
No, they don't deserve it.
I don't think that I'd put South Carolina in.
Well, they've got 3 ranked wins. They drummed Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And they beat Vanderbilt pretty easily.
And they beat Texas A&M very handily.
That was a good game. So the teams that Bama got dumped on that got beat, South Carolina beat them.
Yes, bad.
Yeah, not close.
No.
And Bama played South Carolina close.
Oh, yeah. South Carolina had a chance to win that game. I mean, we're not getting on Bama. We're just being realistic.
No, I am.
I don't think Alabama's going.
Well, they don't deserve to be in it. They're an up and down team. You got a first year coach, first year staff. They're kind of all still getting used to each other. You get a pass. You get a pass, man. Look, you're gonna win 8 or 9 games this year. Great. Go and play a bowl game. Get your team together. You got to figure it out, and come back next year and we'll give another shot at it.
Hey, 10-4. If they go 10-3, that's not bad.
That's a great year.
9-4 is not horrible.
As long as you don't do Hugh Freeze and come back to next year and be well, they may not be worse. They beat Alabama. They're going to beat Alabama next week. They'll go 6-6 again.
Well, yeah. I mean, after last night, I don't know. They got a signature win last night. I mean, they did.
You mentioned Penn State.
Boy, I got beat by Minnesota.
26-25. Valor threw for about 220 yards. They went for it. They was talking about Franklin just got a set of cojones on him. He went for like 3 in a row on 4th down or something and made them. And, that makes him the big dog now. And he's there. He's great. And
I think Penn State's pretty good, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about Penn State hoisting up the championship.
These bad teams, man. These teams are so freaking bad.
I think that Penn State's best thing on their resume is that they played Ohio State close.
College football is so watered down.
Yeah,
it just is. I mean, quarterbacks. Who's good? I tell you who was good the other day. DJ Lagway, 10 for 17, 182 touchdowns. He did throw a pick, 24-17. The Gators take care of Ole Miss. What did you think about that one?
Turnovers killed them. They had 465 yards. Dart was all over the place. 350 yards passing, but he threw 2 picks, and they had a fumble. And from my understanding, which I wasn't able to watch, all that happened right together.
Yeah, it was at the end of the game. It was in the last 2 minutes. After the 2-minute timeout, they're driving to win the game, and then he keeps throwing picks. Keeps throwing picks. I mean, they had a chance to win the game, and he throws the pick at the end of the game. He just overthrows him.
And hats off to Florida. Wow.
I mean, we're talking about
it's time to build Billy a statue.
If they won 6 games this year, I told you this summer they should build him one.
And they won 6.
Yeah, Dart.
And that's 2 upsets now, right?
Yeah,
2.
Dart is like breaking Eli Manning records.
Oh, he's up for 3,700. Just to give you an idea how many yards that is, Hurts is thrown for about 25. And I don't think up until last night Hurts had a bad year. Beck, who throws all the time, has thrown for 3,000, maybe 3,200. Dart's thrown for 3,700.
Yeah, not career. I know. No. This year.
That was a disappointing loss for them, though. They've lost to Florida, Kentucky, and LSU now. It's just a tough year for Lane. He can't get off that three loss train. I'm not blaming him. It's tough. It's not an easy place to win.
When he runs Pegasus, the big lineman, defensive lineman, he run him on 4th down, and they stuffed it. When you tear off with a defensive lineman, it's like 6'9", 300 pounds, and he tears off around the end.
Mm-hmm.
You just bump his feet together, he's going to fall over like Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
That game, and it cost him against Kentucky. I watched the Kentucky game, and it caught the same. He did it when he was lining up to run that play, and I seen the old Fady come out there. I was like, no, what are you doing? Dominique Thomas has had a good day. Give Dominique the ball.
Did Dominique run in a good bit?
Had a great – just hand him the ball.
I'm going to look at that stat. I'm just
give Dominique the ball.
He's starting to come on.
I think I didn't write down how many. I don't know if he had 100. But when he run out there on the field, I could just see it in my mind. I was saying, they're going to lose this game. If he don't make this first down, they're going to blow it right here. Right here, they're fixing to blow it. Ole Miss Lane is fixing to do it again. They're fixing to blow it again. Sure enough, there comes old Fady out. Well, bam, around the right side. Boom, bump his feet together. He's down. I don't get it. I'm done griping at Lane.
Lane, I don't know.
He just can't win some of those big games. But honestly,
I think they play odd.
Let's just be real. As long as he's winning 8 or 9 games, they're probably not going to run him off.
Well, no, I don't remember Ole Miss ever just being unbelievable. When Freeze was there, they were pretty good, but they were losing. The best season I remember them having was 11-2.
Yeah.
Let's see how many Thomas had yesterday.
So Ole Miss takes one right on the noggin. Speaking of Hugh Freeze, 4 overtimes. Auburn's now 5-6 against the 8-3 Texas A&M Aggies. Coach Elko, what an embarrassing loss to go on the road to a team that's won 1 conference game. Elko and DeBoer need to just run off on the beach together and have a long, tall Mai Tai and just talk about their problems together and cry it out. They didn't show up, but at least A&M fought. Alabama did not fight. No fighting at all. Dean, 464 total yards for A&M. Reed, 22 for 35, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a great game. He threw for 300 yards.
Over 300.
But here are all the stats when you started looking down the page here at the Auburn.
They're dead even.
Very close. I mean, some of them's within a yard or two. Like he threw for 300. They threw for 297. They rushed for their total is 469. Their total is 464.
Yeah.
So it looks like a 4 overtime game. It looked like Fife and Piedmont.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was. Now, man, they had their chances. A&M, and I don't know what Auburn found as far as offense, but A&M had their shots. There was one play there that Auburn had a 3rd and 25.
Yeah.
And got it.
Yeah. Cam Cohen had, 120 on the
night? 128. That was his best game of the year.
Lambert Smith had 104. Thomas for A&M had 124, 2 touchdowns too. Daniel run for 90. Quiz run for 130 with 3 touchdowns. So
Quiz is good.
Just, the recipe for success.
Auburn played yesterday offensively like they
Run the ball.
Should have been. Yeah.
Just run the ball. Let your linemen make blocks and get in there and get a tone, get a feel for the game. Stop trying to run weird, quirky plays where guards are pulling down and you got a guy in motion going around and doing backflips down the backfield and he's got a cell phone on the other end over there. They just lay down, trick played. Stop. Just run the ball. Just line up and run the ball. And that's what Auburn kind of wound up doing for the most part. And it's about opportune moments because running the ball sets up the pass.
Yeah, and they just they did it yesterday. Thorne had a good game. He had a real good game.
Yeah.
That's a big win for Auburn. Freeze needed it because he didn't have a quality win. He did beat Kentucky, but Kentucky's sitting at 4-8, 4-7 now.
They ain't beat her. This is the first ranked team Auburn's beaten 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So it was a good win
it's been
for
a while.
him. That'll keep them off his back.
It's been a while.
But did it shock you? It didn't shock me.
No, I picked Auburn to win.
Mm-hmm.
I figured they could win. I just had a feeling about it.
Yeah, you did. That's right. We both went 6-3.
They have a good feeling about them. They're starting to kind of figure it out. But now they're going to take their party on the road to a lackadaisical, juvenile, whiny bag of bone water. The Tide just decides when they want to show up and play, when they don't. Wow. And it starts at the top. And I'll start with my philosophy first, and I'll let you go on the game a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the stats for the game.
All right.
Head coaching job, Dean, I've always thought it's to prep the players. Your coaches are the ones that go out there to get the guys ready.
Mm-hmm.
Position coaches, tight ends, get the tight ends ready, tight end coach. Running back coach, get the running backs ready.
Right.
Going and on and on. The head coach's job for Saban, I mean, he would be involved with D-backs at practice and stuff. But
yeah, he was more involved with that than he was anything.
And I'm not comparing the two. I don't know, it's not fair to DeBoer. But you got to get the guys up mentally to go on the road and stay locked in and don't get drunk the night before because they just look like they had just absolutely been drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no clue what to do.
I don't think nobody. I think it's the worst they've looked. And hats off to Oklahoma now. They played great. But I mean, Oklahoma's not even had a good year, y'all.
No.
They've
offensive line's not good at all. Bama should have been in the backfield on his head all night long.
They had receivers out.
Yeah. Yeah, all of them. Another one out during that game. So that was literally I don't think they had any receiver that started the year playing Saturday.
Jackson Arnold's not even a running back. He had 130 yards.
Well, they didn't need it. They only threw for 60 yards.
Right.
They didn't need receivers. They're just going to run the ball down your throat. But it seems to me
big win for Venables. Jeez.
I think Womack knows because he's coached at South Alabama. He understands the Alabama feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think DeBoer. I think he's starting to get it.
Well, now can I say something right quick before you go on with that? I mean, I know it's on DeBoer, but golly, the players ought to be more motivated to play even without him there.
Terrible.
I mean, we got guys going to play pro ball that have played at Alabama. Saban's gone. I mean, you shouldn't have to. At this point, these guys are in their 20s. I mean,
DeBoer needs to know, and I think maybe by now, if he don't know, then maybe he does now. Or somebody had to tell him. I know somebody's told him, and he's not dumb. He looks like the nerdy offensive guy. Saban's more the philosopher and recruiting kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. They're different. And God made everybody different in their own way, and that's great. But you have to understand, Coach DeBoer, that every team you play while you're coaching at Alabama, you're going to get their best shot because Alabama has been the standard for 20 years of college football. They want to be the team that gets to mark on their little wall, hey, we beat Bama one time too. Hey, we beat Bama one time too. And when teams quit storming the field after they beat you, then we've got a problem. But until then, I don't want to hear about firing no, I'm not firing no head coach. But I think maybe he gets it now. It's different. It's not like coaching at Washington where, okay, here's the game plan. We got our first 20 plays. We go through the plays through the week. We're going to put in the other team's offense, let the defense see it. We're going to put in the other team how they run their defense so we can have our offensive scheme. There's the plan. We walk it through Friday, have a meal, load the bus, go out, stay the night, get up, do a walk through in the morning, have breakfast. We go play the game. That's it. That's just the basic ins and outs of coaching the team. But there's something else to it because it's Alabama. Other teams, you're getting their best shots. This is not like Washington. Why does Oregon State, why are they going to give their best shot to beat Oregon? What has Washington ever done? Besides 1920 or 30 when they won some Rose Bowls.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not a storied program like Alabama.
No, so you don't get teams coming out there trying to beat you. And teams play their best games if they get a chance to play their best games. No turnovers, no penalties.
Well, I mean, yeah, Alabama, especially since Saban's there, it's a big deal. Well, my whole life it's been a big deal to beat Alabama. Like you said, there for a long time, it was a big deal to beat Nebraska. It was a big deal to beat.
Yeah. Do you think that teams were like Florida State's and Miami?
Florida.
Were they getting the best shot of?
Oh, there for a while, yes.
Everybody was playing Nebraska their best shot. Do you think that happened?
Yes.
But why?
But I mean, I think it ended.
Yes, and it's going to end sometime at Bama. Just the dynasty.
Yeah, but I don't think it has yet.
I mean, that's kind of look, man. They played last year the national champion in overtime, and that was just from a pure psychological. This right here, the head coach job is to prep the team mentally. Saban could do that because he's been coaching football for 50 years.
Yeah, he knew how to do it.
I think he's pretty good at it, man. He's good at motivating people. He's a good speaker.
Right.
That's what he's good. Have you ever seen him speak? Auburn fans, Georgia fans go laugh and cackle. That's funny. It's kind of weird that they're more excited about Bama losing than they are their team winning.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird, man. You got kind of weird fantasy where you go hide in your closet and like braid your hair and put on lipstick. That's just weird. But you can see Nick Saban just talking in general on these game days on Saturday morning. And he tells good stories. He has good philosophy about how you carry yourself and how you do things the right way. And, and here's what I did and here's what I learned in my time at Michigan State. He said, I had to learn that I couldn't just go in there and drown the team from what they did.
Yeah.
Just because they lost. I had to
go in there and just jump all over.
So he said, I changed my style. And they put his record up on there and his record changed.
Just flip-flopped.
Yeah.
You talking about after he quit tearing them down?
He said, you can't tear them down and loss, man. They won't play for you. They'll quit on you.
Well, that's what happens. I'm afraid. And, somebody's like, well, it didn't happen to Bobby Knight. Well, I think Bobby Knight got meaner as he got older. I guarantee you he didn't cuss out and stay on that Isaiah Thomas team in 1980 like he did.
He didn't have to.
Right.
So for the day, Dean, no touchdowns, no picks for Arnold. 9 for 11 passing, didn't have to, but he rushed for 131.
131, career high.
Robbins had 2 touchdowns rushing for 107. Oklahoma had 1 offensive touchdown after the half. One.
That big pick 6 was huge.
And you can't win the game because your quarterback throws 3 picks. Your tailbacks carry it 12 times and 3 times. Milrow carries it 15 times for 7. Bernard, 4 catches for 60. Cavaquier, 2 for 40. And Williams, 2 for 37. I don't care however you slice it, but 70 yards rushing and 0 for 2 on 4th downs, a pick 6. You're not winning the game.
A pick 6. And I told Matt earlier, the pick 6, that guy jumped it. He just jumped it.
It was 10-3 at half, and I thought, well, maybe they can come out.
They'll be all right and have a good second. Because they have been a good second half.
Yeah, they'll come out and get rolling here, and they'll get some plays going. Nick Sheridan I don't know if he's in over his head.
They had 234 yards.
Coach Venables took Nick Sheridan out behind the woodshed and beat the brakes off him. Just took him out there with a old pair of roll quarter in his hand and just knocked
Coach
his
Venables
teeth
is
out.
a mean coach. He's tough now. He's hard nosed, and
Well, he literally beat Nick Sheridan. Sheridan's in over his head. You need to get rid of that OC. He's got to go. Look, Grube was supposed to be the OC. He was supposed to come with DeBoer.
that was the one that stayed with the Seahawks.
I knew then when they said that next day, and they said, "Well, Grube is with DeBoer, and they're recruiting already." And I was like, "This is going to be great, man. These two guys calling plays. Bama will win. They'll win 9 or 10 games next year."
Yeah.
And when they called the next day, and I seen pictures. Well, I know I keep up recruiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that Grube wasn't in the pictures the next day or the next day. And then the news come out.
He just didn't want to leave the state of Washington.
Matt Grube takes the Seattle Seahawks job here calling offense. And, he got, probably makes $10,000 more a year. And I thought.
I think it just come down to not wanting to leave.
That hurt.
So you think Sheridan needs to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not Womack. You're okay with the defense?
Yeah,
right?
well, God dang, man, if we're going to give up 2 touchdowns and you can't win a football game.
Yeah.
Now, I know they
didn't give up a whole lot against Tennessee. I mean, 24.
They give up 260 yards rushing. That's not good.
That's not good. No, that's not good.
But a lot of those yards were running up and down between the red zones.
Right. Well, as long as you can have a bend, but don't break defense.
And Bama was punting the ball a lot and giving Oklahoma the ball.
Right.
So they had plenty of opportunities to run the ball a lot because they had how many rushes did they have?
Oklahoma. Oh gosh. Well, the 2 guys carried it 17 apiece.
I think it was 40.
It was ended up being 40 because Richardson and Robertson and Arnold carried it 17 times apiece. They had 238 yards.
That can't happen.
The defense is not getting off the field. Defense has been tired a lot this year.
Because the offense keeps run Jalen left, run Jalen right, run Jalen up the middle, punt. I don't want to. So your defense, that wasn't the biggest problem of the night. I think somebody said he did not adjust after half. I seen him adjust on some of the pitch guy stuff when they were pitching it because Oklahoma just run Vanderbilt's offense.
I'm like you though. I don't think the defense was the issue. Yes. They did the same thing, kind of.
They run that shovel pass, and they got Bama on it about once or twice, but they kind of stopped it.
I'm seeing the plays here. How many plays?
Malachi Moore said after the game that they knew he was going to run the ball some, but you know what? We've seen some of those plays when Arnold can run the ball a little bit.
They run at 49.
49, okay. But they expected him to have some plays, but he said most of the plays that we saw, that was Vanderbilt's playbook.
But, I mean, they've seen it now.
But
they struggled with that.
Wouldn't Bama know we're going to get this?
Mm-hmm.
This is what we're going to get from people on their offense. You know what Auburn's working on today?
Stopping Milroe.
No, running that offense.
Oh, I thought you was just making a point. Yes.
They're just going to try to outscore Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I think the defense will take care of themselves because both of them have pretty good defense. Auburn's defense is better.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Auburn's defense is not bad. I know they gave up a lot of yards yesterday, but some of that was overtime.
4 overtimes too. That don't.
Yeah. What was it? It's 31-31 at the end of the game.
So that's what I'm doing. If I'm Auburn and Auburn freeze, what kind of offense does he run?
Yeah. Thorne had 93 yards last year.
There's the recipe is right
93, there. And Hunter had 92.
Let Hunter run for about 100, 120. Let Thorne run for about 100. Throw for, 50, 60 yards. Throw a touchdown maybe. Just run that option, and Freeze is good at that. That's what he does. They run that old high school offense from Arkansas style like Gus does, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just
kind
saying
of people call it gimmicky.
It's a lot of motions. It's a lot of window dressing, and it may be the same play that you've seen 3 times in a row.
Yeah, it's still just a dive to the fullback.
Yep. But they'll run a guy out, or they'll stop the receiver won't run out. He'll turn for a bubble or something. Mm-hmm. Just stuff like that. They're going to run the option. They're going to run downhill. They're going to run that read stuff, and they're going to run the option. They're going to try to stretch Bama on the ends, and when they stretch them out left and stretch them out right, they'll have a little shovel pass back up the middle or run a QB draw and let Thorne take off with it and run it. So Bama has to bring their A-game tackling. They're going to have to. Open that door.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we got people coming in. DeBoer, come on in here. Go ahead.
So, Bama, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is actually a good question. I'm not bragging on myself. I think it's a good question. Who needs to win this game worse, Freeze or DeBoer? I say DeBoer. I think Freeze did a lot for himself by beating Texas A&M.
Yeah, if they would have lost A&M, then I would have said Freeze. Yeah, DeBoer needs to win. Your first year in. Nick didn't beat Auburn his first year in.
No.
They didn't beat Auburn his first year in.
No, but they were more down in the doldrums when he came in, too.
Yeah. And I don't want to hear this old Crawford. God dang it, man. They're Auburn fans or whatever. They're Georgia fans. These podcast people just, running off the jaw. Bama, played in the playoffs last year against Michigan, and DeBoer brings that team back with the Milrow, and they're just really struggling. What team are you talking about? They lost 42 players.
Yeah, they lost a lot.
42.
All their second.
Crawford, 42. That's not the same team that played with Michigan, dipshit. Why do they keep doing that?
No.
The same thing. It's the same thing over and Alabama's brought all this great team back from Dave Saban, took them to the playoffs last year, and I'm just not sure what DeBoer's really doing down there at Tuscaloosa. I don't know about football, but I'm just up here stirring stuff because I got a wooden spoon. What are you doing? These people get paid to do this stuff. You get paid to sit in front of a microphone and actually talk about football. And they sit up there and smile and talk about how great Alabama. I'm kind of confused about why is Alabama not real good, Todd. They got that team back. The one that almost beat Michigan? They're all back. It's the whole team. None of them left. Shut up. Shut up. Go freaking quit your job and run out in the road. It's ridiculous what these people keep doing.
They lost both receivers.
You get paid for doing this. God, it pees me off.
Lost their tight end.
It makes me mad because I'm telling the truth, and I don't get paid. And they're telling horse garbage. And they get paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not even an opinion. You're just not even telling the right story.
Well, they lost all their secondary except for Moore.
God dang, they got 5. They're starting 4 freshmen. They had 5 freshmen yesterday at one time.
Yeah.
When Lawson went out, guess who had to roll over and start calling plays?
Lawson didn't make many tackles.
He went out. He broke his ankle, I guess. He's done. He won't play in plays.
They were the main 2 coming back.
He's your
and some of the
play caller. He's your captain for the defense.
Alabama had about 5 players.
Lawson's the guy that walks to the defensive line and goes left, right, shoot 1, 2. We're backing out. Watch the buzz. Watch the buzz. Tango, Rango. He's the guy calling all this in.
Right.
And now he's gone.
Well, I'll tell you a big loss for him. I mean, Bond and Burton. I know Williams and Bernard have done a good job this year, but that's with big losses. McClellan was a big loss. I like Miller and Haynes, but McClellan was a big loss. And Black was a big loss. I know he hasn't done much at Texas, but he did all right. He started doing all right.
I think Dupree filled in fine, but he won't catch the ball. How many drops did Bama have Saturday? 5?
4, I think.
Yeah. You can't drop a ball on 3rd down. They were looking at the lights, and Jermaine was like, I couldn't see you, lost in the lights. Their eyes are either his – let me tell you an old party trick here from my old party guy. Used to be a wild person. If those lights are blinking him out, his eyes dilated because he's taking something or I've never seen that before. Before the ball got there, he acts like he got shot. I mean, like something hit him. But the ball goes over here and he's like, like he flinched.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man? What's going on? Why are they dropping balls?
I don't know. I just don't think they're ready to play for whatever reason.
Did Oklahoma set their lights up to shine in these parts of the field? Because Oklahoma didn't throw the ball, so their receivers didn't have to go back and look at the lights, right?
No.
Is that a conspiracy? Did I just find out? Did I just cook up a conspiracy? Did Oklahoma set the lights to blind Alabama receivers so they couldn't catch the ball? No. Oklahoma's like, well, we're just going to run it anyway.
Yeah.
We don't need to throw it.
Yeah.
There's been weirder stuff happen. I'm just bothered with how they just seem not to show up.
Yeah, especially with their showing against LSU. LSU's better than Oklahoma, and they go down there and beat them 42-13. And one of those touchdowns was late, like with the last minute. Stop Nussmeier, their running game.
Well, they ain't had no running game. That's why LSU can't win. That's why Colorado can't win.
Mm-hmm. But I just thought it was odd, especially after that. I don't know. I mean, and you know as well as I do that Alabama practiced this week.
I don't think so.
They watched just as much film.
I don't think so, man. Really, I don't. I don't know what they were doing. But if they really did study, then there's no way. That's just not even the same. And I know. Here's the thing: matchups are different.
Yeah,
different teams match up different. Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul would not be the same as Mike Tyson fighting Logan Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Boxing same. LSU is not Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not the same thing.
Oklahoma can run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's just their offensive line. They've had a lot of offensive line show and had a lot of quarterback crap coming out. Nobody's ever really said Oklahoma's defense was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They just couldn't score. They were kind of in the boat that Auburn was.
Right.
They just having quarterback trouble. Kind of couldn't score the ball. Here we go. Hawkins in, Arnold, Hawkins and Arnold, Hawkins and Arnold.
Right. All year.
Back until they, and then Venom was like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to run the ball, run option. We're just going to be Vandy. I'm going to go get my defense locked in. I think we're pretty good on defense. I'm going to go get my defense locked in. Coach, you handle the offense. Just run the option. Just take Venom's playbook. There it is. Mm-hmm. Implement some of that plays into the practice for the week, and I'm going to go get the defense ready. And we'll just see what happens. And Bama defense holds their offense to 2 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And they still lost the game.
Yeah.
That ain't on Womack. I tell if old Jip Jab up in the booth, old Sheridan come down to me and old Womack says, man, we really could have got that. I'd have punched him. I'm telling you, I would have punched him right in the teeth. Bro, your offense scores 6 for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you get none. You scored more for them than you did for us, you idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I give up 2 touchdowns tonight. 2.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you give up 260 rushing. Yeah, but there's only 2 touchdowns come out of it. I don't care if they run for 500 yards. 2 touchdowns come out of it, smart Alec. They need what? Sheridan's over his head.
2 touchdowns.
On offense.
Yeah, 17 points, which is nothing.
Yes. No, darn, if you can't win that game,
what
are you doing?
National championship giving up 17 points again.
I would hope so. No, obviously not.
Several teams have won a national championship.
Yeah, I'd hope so. So Nick Sheridan, last point for me, Nick Sheridan is in over his head. DeBoer is not being the good head coach of getting the teams mentally ready to go on the road and play. Mm-hmm. And that's on him.
I wonder why, though. I don't know.
It's just not. He just ain't him. He don't understand that you get everybody's best shot. Everybody wants to be. It's not like everybody. We want to be that team that beat Washington. Woohoo! We're going to beat Grand Canyon University. I'm fired up about that. No, people are saying, golly, if we can beat Alabama.
Yeah.
That may save my job because you can go back on the resume when they're trying to fire you and go, well, we did beat Alabama.
You went 1 in 89.
We beat Alabama. But when everybody gets a turn, Alabama's getting passed around like at the back of the prom party.
Mm-hmm. And that won't be a big deal.
And they quit storming the field, and you got a problem. Then that beating, you beat Alabama. Well, Alabama only won 6 games this year.
Yeah. I mean, that'll stop. That'll stop eventually. I mean, it's going to be the same at Ohio State or, right now.
College football is different, man. It's just different. It's different. It's a different game. It's a different time. It's a different era. Nick Saban knew exactly what he was doing. He's old enough. He's put in his time. It was time to move on, and he picked it at a great time because this portal has just changed the game. Nobody wants to sit and wait and play. Mm-mm. Nobody wants to be on the practice squad and be A.J. McCarron and wait to play and play on the practice team and get their butt spanked live on TV when he threw a pick against Penn State up there.
Mm-hmm. When they up 47-14.
Yeah. And he put him in, let him play a little, and Saban popped him on the tail for throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. Still what I told you to do. Because Nick's playing chess. He's playing for 3 years ahead for AJ. He knew AJ was great.
Oh, yeah, he knew he was going to start.
He knew he was great. And these other coaches are just playing checkers. And that's why he's the GOAT, and that's why he's doing College Game Day. And that's kind of my last bit about it. Alabama fans, just be a fan. I'm still going to wear my hat and wear my shirts, and you're just going to be a fan. If you don't want to be a fan, you just want to fire everybody all the time or set Milroe. Do they take Milroe out? If he throws a pick Saturday, does he come out and put in Ty Simpson?
No.
Does Ty
He
Simpson?
throws two maybe in the first half. I wouldn't fool with him. I mean, I wouldn't. He's too dominant. I mean, he can be.
Does Ty Simpson give them an edge? Fans, tell us, comment section. Does Ty give them an edge that Milroe don't?
I don't think so.
Just throw some quick slants and let Jam and them run the ball and take some deep shots every once in a while. Have a good mix up on balance. Defense, just play your man. Play assignment football.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him what you was telling me the other day when y'all was at where you was coaching it. Was you at Sandrock with Coach Jackaway?
Coach, talking about the basketball?
No. Football, like just play an option, like okay.
Yes. I
okay,
mean,
you corner is here.
he had like three people taking the pitch, man.
Linebacker is here. I mean, send Coach Jake away to Alabama.
Oh, and that okay.
I'm sure he can teach them those defense how to play the option.
Right, and he had the safety. Who was going to be untouched? Ain't nobody going to block the
safety. He wouldn't do it because he's an Auburn fan. He may go there and sabotage it. Okay, corner, you're taking the wide receiver over.
Well, he had the corner, and he had run a cover too, and that safety had the pitch man along with the outside linebacker. So if the outside linebacker, if the safety saw it, he come on and ran the pitch man, then the outside linebacker run the pitch man too.
Yeah, there's no way if he tries to come inside or outside, he's stopped.
More, I mean, technically.
If he tries to bounce it, one goes outside, he tries to cut it back in, there's another guy.
Unless he's just a stud and breaks it, but we're talking about these plays where they're running 25 and 30 yards and then they're untouched. You can tell when somebody just makes a great play and when their defense is completely off the grid.
Like Indiana's was. They were not ready to play.
No.
They were not even in the same league.
No, I don't mean to offend any Indiana fans, but I don't think there's any way they should be in the playoff.
No, they don't. They can't even compete with none of those players.
Penn State, yes. Not Indiana. Miami, yes. So Alabama, no. I'm sorry.
No. Listen, here's the only way a 3-loss team. I explained this on a post you made, guys. If you have your third loss comes in the SEC title game,
yes,
and you lose by a touchdown or field goal, okay, I could probably make a case for you.
Well, what hurt Alabama is that game yesterday wasn't close. Now, I know they
didn't even
made a terrible call on a touchdown, but guys, that still just would have made it 24-10. Somebody's like, well, they might have caught fire and come back.
Well, mites grows on chickens' butts.
We don't know.
I know mites grows on chickens' butts, and that's not football.
I mean, Oklahoma still would have kept running what they ran and eat the clock.
Mites are in dogs' ears, too. Mites don't do anything.
Yeah. Alabama would have had a hard time coming back and winning that.
They don't deserve to be in. They're not a championship team. They don't have the qualities to.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I'm going to make a case for them. My first one here. And this will probably get mocked. But if they beat Clemson, I think South Carolina should be considered for that top 12.
They've beat a lot of ranked teams.
I just think right now they're peaking. They're just peaking.
They beat a lot of ranked teams.
And they may be favored Saturday. Where's it at? If it's at Clemson, then might have it.
Yes.
It's at Clemson.
11 o'clock, ESPN.
Sometimes Alabama and Auburn play.
I think it was 2:30.
Hey, there's some good games there. Georgia Tech. Bama and Auburn.
Oklahoma
Texas,
at LSU at 6. Texas at A&M.
What time's it?
6:30.
That'd be it. That's probably it. Ohio State, Michigan play at 11, don't they?
Auburn at Alabama 2:30 ABC. Notre Dame at USC 2:30 CBS.
USC upset them?
No,
I don't think so either.
Coastal at Georgia State 1 o'clock. Louisville at Kentucky 11. South Carolina Clemson 11. Tennessee at Vandy 11. Michigan at Ohio State on Fox at 11.
Big game. Hey, let me ask you one more question before we get off here.
Blowout.
and I know you don't like them, but if you okay with Notre Dame being in the top 12, I mean, I am.
Yeah, they got one loss. It's a bad loss, but
It's a bad loss, but it
early.
is. You think they're deserving of a top 12, right?
I think they just got to put somebody in there.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going. We agree that they're in.
Yeah, they're like.
But they're not going to be a top seed. They're going to have to play. They're probably going to be that number 5.
Well, they're not going to get a bye because they don't have a conference game.
Right. They're never going to get a bye.
No, not until they make a weird case for them, because they're not going to join a conference. They are not, because that means they have to show. Well, I've been through that years ago. They tried to join the ACC, and the commissioner said, "Well, you have to show your."
Do you think if it
Notre Dame, you have to show your earnings because you'd be like a public school.
Yeah, they won't do it.
Well, they don't have. They're a
religious
church,
Catholic school.
So the taxes, because they got hundreds of millions of dollars. Unfortunately, the ADs are also bishops. They let them play their football because it does bring in some money. But if Notre Dame wanted to, they could go buy every player and have the best team in the world. They got more money.
They just don't do that.
No, because their religion's a little more important. That's God, then family and football.
Yeah, not football, family. Who's that guy, God?
Yeah. I mean, they got Jesus on the side of the building up there. Football's important, but
yeah, Jesus is more important.
Yes,
which is the way it should
be. It is. But they could buy. They have hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions.
So, okay, last point. We're getting up here. I'm yawning.
Right.
Somebody comes to them and says, "Look, if you don't join a conference, you are out. You'll never be in the playoff again. You're done." They still don't join a conference. Okay.
Well, as long as they're independent, they can't make them do it.
I know that, but I'm just saying, what if you just got a dictator as commissioner? He's like, no, you're not putting them in. I put a clap on it. You're not putting them in. I don't care if they're 13.
You can't go to the playoffs, period, unless you join a conference.
You still think they would not join the conference?
Well, it is a different world we live in. It's like 1972 when you had, Bishop Hannity up there, running the place. Or scores for the weekend. Alabama, Auburn, Iron Bowl. Guys, give us some scores. I'll go on the page and I'll post something later. Through the week, give me scores to the week.
I think 34-23 Bama.
34-23.
57 points. I'll write that down. I do think Bama wins this.
Who you got? Let's see, Bama.
I think there's a sense of urgency. But I do commend Auburn. I think they're playing a little better.
What'd you say?
34-23 Bama.
Okay.
Free break fluid.
I'm going to go they're going to give us some scores here. Alabama's favored by 11.5 in that game. Somebody give us some scores. Give us some scores, Ben. 56-20 Bama. Good God, Ben.
Oh, my gosh. Ben.
56-20.
Come on, Ben.
20. Good guys. I'm going to go.
It's 11.5 right now.
I've been thinking of something about it today. Hell, all Auburn's got to do, man, is just run the option. All they got to do is run Vandy. Bama can't stop it. They can't. Ain't nothing they can do with it. And Saturday at the Iron Bowl, it's going to be cold. It's still going to be cold. By 2:30, it's just going to be like 50, maybe. Maybe be 50. I'll tell you a weather thing, and then we'll get off here because it's fixing to get bad.
Really?
Oh, man. Let's see. Auburn. 28. Bama 24.
You think so?
Yeah. They're a bunch of brats. I'm going to say Auburn by 4.
I'm looking at what people are.
Auburn 28-24. You heard it here first. Auburn they got something to prove. Alabama is out. They're a bunch of spoiled brats, a bunch of crybabies, and if they don't get to play for a national championship, I'll just go home. I don't have to play anymore. I don't have to. You can't make me. So the fan base is absurd with most of their talk. And if you don't, if we're not playing for a title, then we'll just go watch basketball. That's just how it is. We've seen how many times have we seen Bama pack it in?
This ain't the first.
The way they looked on their face, that fourth quarter Oklahoma.
See, I had to go somewhere. It's 24-3, and I wasn't gone but about 15 minutes. And I'll be honest with you, I expected to come back to them making a push back. I walked back in, and it's still 24-3. They ain't
nothing.
And somebody, Mom, I went by Mom to check on her, and she was like, "He just threw another interception." And I'm
matchup wise,
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Everybody has a bad game. Everybody.
But usually Bama packs it in. I'm just saying usually. Now, if they ain't packed it in, they show up to practice this week and they feel like they got something to leave behind for the program. The seniors want to leave something to build. Then they may show up and win the game.
Well, I think that, you got a lot to play for. I remember a few years ago, I think it was Saban's third year. Alabama was 9-3. They just lost to Auburn, 28-27. They're not playing for a title. They played Michigan State in a big bowl, and they just drilled them.
I remember that, yeah.
And they finished 10-3. They're known, and a lot of people were saying after that 10-3, wow, this is one of the best teams in the country. That's what you want to go play for.
Does Milroe come back next year, Ben says? I don't
think
know.
He's done.
I don't think he's got nothing to prove. And they got a quarterback coming.
Mm-hmm.
They got a guy coming. And here's the last point here, something to think about. Iron Bowl means a little bit more. Somebody needs to get in their ear at Bama and say, and I tell you what, we got number 2 recruiting class right now. You want to lose that class?
Yeah.
Freshmen coming in, Bakaway, Ryan Williams, all these freshmen, DBs is playing, Xavier and all those guys. Juniors just want to come back and play as seniors. Maybe some of you do. You lose that game to Auburn, you're going to lose some recruits.
Oh, it's a huge game.
You're going to lose some recruits. Now, losing in-state recruits is not just terrible because most of the in-state recruits are not ranked in the top 300. Mm-hmm. Some are, like Alvin Henderson is.
Yeah.
But most of them are not. This is not like it was 30 years ago. Like, you had some of the best players around were right here, and Alabama and Auburn's fighting over some tailback somewhere.
I think
like he's number 1 in the nation.
This is a big rivalry. This may be the biggest.
Well, but a lot of the players, especially in Alabama, they're not from Alabama. Mm-hmm. You got players from California and Texas, and Georgia, and they know what it means because they've been around there, but they didn't grow up in the Iron Bowl wouldn't own their house. It may have been on, but their dad's not sitting there stomping the floor raising Cain if Alabama or Auburn's losing.
Right.
Because they don't care.
Well, I remember 84. Auburn had a very good team. Alabama was average, 5-5, wasn't even going to a bowl. And Alabama upset Auburn. But my point is, it's not to talk about Alabama upsetting them. That meant so much to both teams.
Yeah.
And neither one of them were playing for a national champion.
That's 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Neither one of them were even close to playing for a national championship.
These teams not either.
No, but it shouldn't matter. It didn't matter then.
And it's been a while since it hadn't been that way, really.
Oh, yeah.
Bama's usually been kind of playing for it. They need to kind of win the Iron Bowl, and they kind of have a little pressure. Looking ahead. Oh, God, we got Georgia next 2 weeks from now. We got to go beat them for the SEC. Oh, God, oh, God. Well, now the pressure's off, Bama. You get to go play in the Citrus Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and, you can get that. You can beat Auburn, which is your rival, and then you're going to get a good matchup. You're probably going to get
Colorado in a bowl game.
Colorado or somebody that's just on the outside and not going to the playoff. So 10-3.
All right, see, Jeff.
That's what you got to shoot for.
Y'all have a great day. Rest of your evening there. If Milroe gets hurt, we win the Iron Bowl. No, Milroe's the best athlete on the field. He's going to play. He gives you your best shot. If Ty Simpson was a lot better, then Nick Saban would have started him. I think Nick Saban knows more about football than any of us ever forgot. Mm. Ty Simpson would have started over Milroe. Nick would have played him, or at least played him.
Well, Milroe's a game breaker. I mean, you might get what you had last night, but look what you got against LSU.
That's on the offensive coach.
Yeah.
Running him left and running him right, running him left, running him right. Just like they did LSU, throw some little quick slants here and there, run the ball. That ain't got nothing to do with Milroe. All he's got to do is hut, hand it off. That ain't got nothing to do with the quarterback. The quarterback's just handed the keys to the car. Now, if the race pit crew driver didn't do his job and check the plugs and wires and distributor cap and it's all junked up and it's not running, it's sputtering and sparting, that's a problem. But Milroe crashing it into the wall 3 times last night, that hurt too. But I probably would have too when as soon as you snap the ball, you got 3 defensive linemen in your face because your offensive line is ass.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Pritchett play last night? Would you like to grade him? I'm gonna share their grades tomorrow. Proctor didn't have a great game. He usually grades 90.
Yeah.
They're too big and slow. Every team that can rush the end beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee rushed the end. They lost because old Pritchett can't move them fat feet. Just fall. If he would just fall down in front of him, you'd be better off than what he can't reach him because he can't move fast enough because he's 6'9", 390 pounds.
Yeah, God, that's big.
I mean, he can't move.
Yeah,
he's not supposed to be able to move. So you get a guy that's about 6'6", about 230.
Mm-hmm.
It's fast. They're just breaking the edges on Bama, and Pritchett can't do it. The right tackle's terrible, and the right guard's terrible. Browser did okay most of the time. Booker had a terrible game. Proctor did okay. The offensive line was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive line could not get in the backfield because they can't stop that option. If they could, they'd beat Vanderbilt. So it's not on Milroe.
Yeah.
Yes, it is because he threw 3 picks. He crashed the car on the wall 3 times. But it's the job of the pit crew, the offensive coordinator up there in the box, to make sure the car's ready to go. And they did not. And the pit chief over the whole crew, DeBoer, did not have them mentally ready to go. That's on him. That's on him.
Yeah.
That's it. Y'all have a great week. Come back and holler at us next week. We'll talk about the Iron Bowl, see some more where our high school teams have landed at, and we'll go through some of the playoffs.
Y'all have a good week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Bryce Underwood, be going to Michigan. Yeah, I know ain't that pretty crazy. Some guy that owns, he's got 200. Some guy that owns some big company, $250 billion in his account, set up this company to where Underwood is tied in with. What about that?
Really?
$12 million. Okay. All right. Y'all have a great week, and we'll get you back here. I may come on Tuesday. We'll go through some of these college games. All right.
Y'all have a great week.